Good morning, everyone. We are coming to you live via Facebook streaming, YouTube streaming, and also via Skype. Each one of you is welcome to this live streaming from our studios in Trinidad. From wherever you are connecting, Sutras of Vigyan Bhairav Tantra nourish and cherish your knowings and doings. Focus on these things, not on the borrowed knowledge. Borrowed knowledge means you have read here, you have read there. It is good, but it will not help you. If someone has eaten food, talking about that will not satiate you in any way. Cherish and mother all that is yours, because only through knowings and your doings you can grow. Always remember, in reality, do something. Have you ever done anything that you can on your own, or you are just doing a duty because it has been said in the scriptures, you have to do this, you have to do that? So you are loving and you are following. Have you really loved any time when you were there? Go on doing things, you go on doing things that are not yours. Do your own things and mother it, whether it is knowing or doing. Buddha is good. Understand him. Allow him to grow into you, but do not follow him. Allow Buddha. Buddha is a seed. Buddha is an environment. If you allow him to surround you, something will start growing into you. It is like a breeze. It is like the fertilizer. The seed is yours. When you plant a seed, you use a particular kind of fertilizer, and the other things related with it, a proper and sufficient water supply, sunlight. So Jesus, Buddha, Mahabir, Lao Tse, they are like fertilizers and sunlight. But the seed is yours. You cannot take the words of the seed of that Buddha is that have already blossomed. So you have to create an environment for your seed to get fertilized, to grow, to evolve. If someone has already given birth to a child, that cannot help you. You have to use your own seeds to fertilize in an environment. When ovum and sperm they interact with one another, a process begins. The process begins in fallopian tube. Then it grows into uterus. So fetus grows into uterus. So what is uterus? Uterus is your first home. Uterus is your first home where you were fertilized, you attain, every part, cell of your body developed. Your mind develops only in a church, mosque, or temple environment. But all that is natural and spontaneous grows in environment that uterus provides. It is your first house, not your mind, not your heart. Remember this always. Jesus is good, is beautiful, but you cannot follow him, following him or any other person, you will become ugly. Instead of, if a seed, you have seen the seed, it does not care for the other Buddhas that is in the next flower pot. It does not care for Jesus in the next flower pot. It follows its own process, which is embedded into its very essence, fertilization. Two pregnant mothers lying in a hospital bed next to one another. Each one of us, the fetus growing in each womb, is growing in its own way. It is not following, the fetus is not following the other. This is natural. So fetus is wiser than you. You start following. The moment you say that I am on a spiritual path, you start following this or that or so. Learn from fetus. It only cares, and nature provides a congenial environment to every fetus to grow, every seed to grow. First to fertilize and then grow. You can be a carbon copy, but you will be false. You will not be accepted by the existence. Nothing false is accepted by the existence. Love Buddha, love Jesus, love Lao Tse. But do not try to be their own carbon copies or keep on saying that Jesus said so. Or people every day send me number of posts and pictures, a statement from Jesus, a statement from Muhammad. First, they used to be automatically saved in the photo gallery, but I realized in the last phone there were more than 40,000 photographs saved that way. Now I change it, none of these are saved in the photo gallery, and I know what this person is sending me, so I delete it right away. If I need something, I have two hands and 2 feet, intelligence and eyes. I will go and search for the food, search for the motivational message on my own. Do not imitate. Always allow your own self to move in its own way. You can become one day Buddha-like. Everyone that blossoms in its own way, but that blossoming is known as Buddha or Christhood. Buddha is not a name. Buddha is a state of flowering. Buddha is the flowering of the seed of the being. Christhood is the flowering of the seed of the being. One day you will become a Jesus like a Christ. But it is blasphemy to say that you will become Christ, because you know Christ was one and there will be no more Christ. But does it not happen in the university? When you are in a program, there are more than one student, and every student at the end of the term is given the in graduation is given a degree. Everyone says Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Medicine and Surgery. So all the students in that batch, or all those students in the past who have graduated, they get the degree of MBBS. MBBS is not a name, but we have considered Buddha as a name, Jesus a name, Christ as a name. This you have been conditioned. You can attain to Christhood, you can attain to Buddhahood, but your route will be different. You will have experienced different things, but one thing is certain: whatsoever may be the route and whatsoever may be the experience, it must be authentic. Everyone gets enlightened the same way. Then you chooses the profession. All the doctors, they have the same degree. The only difference is on the degree, the name is not written there whether you have done it in honors or without honors. Each doctor's office displays the degree, Bachelor of Medicine and Surgery, name of the person, the year it was granted. You may practice in Washington, someone else may practice in Trinidad, next one can practice in Chicago or Germany or Frankfurt or anywhere. They may use different languages, the patients will be different, but they may have a slight variation in their treatment, but the treatment for a particular ailment is the same. So what happens if you have a virus? So virus, the antibiotics are given. You can use the antibiotic made by different companies. You can give this antibiotic the antibiotic or that. But during the time when someone has virus, the main thing is virus, just as corona was a virus, there is a virus. And that means your immune system is weak. And because of the weaker immune system, you have been attacked by this virus that was there in an environment. This is what happens. You are so weak consciously that this one's virus or that one, Jesus virus or Buddha virus, attacks you, and you start trying to follow that. So along with that, the main focus is how to increase your immune system, immunity. So what could be done? Something could be given along with the antibiotics. The doctor can prescribe you vitamin C, vitamin D3. Then there are herbs, like certain herbs that increase your immune system. And when they increase your immune system, you are handling that virus at two different fronts. So this is what a master does. A master is a physician who is trying to work on your inner immune system so that you do not be affected by the virus that may have the name of Buddha or Lao Tse or Jesus or anyone else. All he can do that you develop the immune system, and then you start moving towards the health. Spirituality is the optimum health at the conscious level, at the level of consciousness. When the immunity is low or down, you are unconscious or subconscious, and you are moving in life through that virus. So you have this problem or that problem. Do something, remembering well that it is you who are doing it without following anyone. Then every small act, just a smile, just a gesture, may become a satori, a way, a source of samadhi, cosmic consciousness. You come back home and smile at your children. You see your worker, you smile at them. But let that smile be authentic. You are not pretending anything. You are not pretending anything. It is not a painted smile. Nothing else is smiling in normal case. Only your lips smile, not the entire being. Always remember, no matter what you are doing, observe whether your center is involved. The moment your center is involved, every cell of your body will smile. There will be a different kind of aura around you. The moment in any act I've said, eating, drinking, walking, driving on the road, having sex, anything, the moment your center is involved, it is important. If it is not involved, it is better not to do a thing. Do not do it. No one is forcing you to do anything. Preserve your energies for the moment, then something real, and when something real happens to you, you are connected to your center, then do it. You cannot force me to say something to you or cook something. When you know, when you are full of joy, overflowing, you have more energy, and that time, whatever act you do, it has a different quality. If you are writing something, it will have a different quality. If you are cooking something, it will have a totally a different taste and quality. Some of you would have experienced this. The smile will come and then it will change you completely. You are connected to your center. Then it will be total. Then every cell of your body will be involved in that act, be it is smiling or anything. Then it will be just an explosion, nothing painted. And children know you cannot deceive them. The moment you deceive them, they are no more children. The moment you can deceive a child, he is no more a children, no more a child. Then you know, they know that your smile is false. They can detect it very much. It is easy to be false in big things, but you cannot be false in small things. Mother doings, particular knowings, in reality. Do whatsoever you like to do, but think, really you are doing it, or is your mother doing it through you, or your father is doing through you? Because dead men, dead parents, societies, all generations have gone long ago, and they are still functioning within you. You keep on saying, my mother used to do this, my father used to do this, the society do keep on doing this. Like there are certain, this is how the traditions are born. Now, in Trinidad, this is a tropical country. During the summer, during the daytime, the sun is very hot. When indentured laborers came to Trinidad, they were brought by the Britishers. They had to live in a particular kind of a house that was called barracks, and every day early in the morning they have to go to the fields to work. So what happens? There was no restaurant and their income was not so restaurants did not develop around those fields. So they have to prepare their lunch from home and carry it. So they did not have the time. And if two people are going from one family, and if they are cooking the Indian flatbread chapati, so one person with an average or medium the appetite will take at least 4 to 5 flatbread chapati. So 8 has to be cooked. So they did not have the time. They made a big, the fat flatbread, and they call in Trinidad as sada roti. And they just put it in there, make a packet and carry it. So in the field, they do not have the time to make the vegetables. So when they reached to the fields and lunchtime came, before that, they pick up an eggplant or a potato, roast it on the open fire. They carry the salt with them, and maybe if the field does not have garlic, they carry the garlic. They take a piece of stone and burst the garlic, and they put it in that salt, garlic and pepper, and eat that. This was the necessity at that time. And the sun is so hot. So there, in order to protect the head from the sun rays, they put on a hat. Now this has become a habit. Even if they are going out for a party or anything, they will use a hat. So it was a tradition, and the dishes has become the dishes in Trinidad, where the society, where the times have completely changed. More facilities are available. When I came to Trinidad almost 40 years ago, there was no whole wheat flour available in Trinidad. Only the white flour was available. Nothing of the East Indian origin was available. So how to increase the nutritional value? So I use the white flour. To that I use the locally available split piece flour, and we were making the yogurt. So we knead the flour with yogurt. So it has added two types of protein in the form of yogurt and in the form of the locally available split piece flour. But now the time has changed. The whole wheat flour, multigrain flour and other things are available. Should I still remain in the same way? No. But certain things, human mind changes. When these people came, there was so they were riding their donkey carts or walking bare feet. But now the time has changed. But the diet, they did not change, or they maintained the original diet, but they moved from donkey cart or the ordinary cart to air-conditioned cars. In the same way, Islam developed in the deserts where the temperature was very high. During the summertime, during the midday, it reaches up to 44-40 degrees Celsius. To cover their head, they have to put on a cap. Put on a cap. Now the same thing continues as a tradition. Every Muslim has to cover his head. Whether you are in an air-conditioned office or anywhere, if you are a Muslim, you must keep that cap on your head. And it is said it is important for meditation. It has nothing to do. So why one person is meditating with a cap on and next person is not meditating with a cap on? Because the two are brought up and grew in different environments. The sages and the saints, they grew up in a different environment, so they never covered their heads. Anything, Hindus do not cover their heads during the meditation because they come from a different environment. Muslims come from a different environment. The Arabic influence is still continues to dominate, and it has become a way of worship. So everyone has to put on a cap. I have heard a woman, old woman, was very religious. So every day she will do the prayers, and on weekends or certain occasions she will do his prayer, special prayers. And so the Hindu prayer is this and that and so many things. But she has a cat, and cat has a tendency, dog will never sit on your lap. Dog will sit on the ground by your feet, but cat will jump and sit on your lap. So when this old lady used to pray, the cat will come and sit down on her lap. So it was a problem. So one day she went to the market and there she saw a basket. So an idea struck her that, and she bought the basket. So when next time she started doing the prayers, the cat sit down on the side and she covered it with the basket. So the cat is sitting by the prayer place and it is covered with the basket, so it will not sit on the lap, and the prayer for that old lady became easy. She continued like that. Then her son got married. The daughter-in-law came in the family. She saw mother-in-law doing the prayers this way, cat sitting on the side, covered with the basket, and so on and so forth. Then after some time, the mother-in-law passed away, the cat died, but the tradition continued. The daughter-in-law continued to do the prayers, and she will put the basket on the side and do the prayers. So one day she went to the market and she saw a stuffed cat. She bought it. And now she put that stuffed cat, stuffed toy, and covered it with the basket. So someone asked, what is the significance of this? She said very innocently, I don't know the significance of this. My mother-in-law used to do it. So I think it is a part of the worship, so we are doing it. This is what we are doing. Really you are doing it, or it is your mother doing it through you, or your father doing through you, or your priest doing through you, or your tradition doing through you. Because the dead men, dead parents, dead societies, old generation have gone long ago, but are still functioning within you. And these we call traditions. You are not doing it knowingly. You are doing it unconsciously. They have created such conditions that you go on fulfilling them, and they are fulfilling their dead parents, dead mothers. उनको करने दो मुर्दा रस्मों की बातें. Let them talk about old and dead traditions. अपनी मैना को तो दिल खोल चहचहाने दो. Let my bird of the inner bird chirp on its own out of joy. Let them talk about their own dead traditions. उनको करने दो मुर्दा रस्मों की बातें. मुर्दा means dead. रस्म means tradition. उनको करने दो मुर्दा रस्मों की बातें. अपनी मैना the bird, the inner bird that continues to tweet. Chill. अपनी मैदा को तो दिल खोल चहचहाने दो. With open heart, let it talk on its loud voice. I have heard during Parliament, when British Parliament started, there was no electricity, there was no microphone. So when the next session will start, the marshal or someone will go to every member of the Parliament and will tell him that the next session of the Parliament will take place on this particular day. Now the Parliament have light, the microphones and everything, but that tradition is still continues. The marshal will come, although the announcement is made on the microphone, but still the marshal goes and tells everybody in the ears that next session will take place on that day. So we live in traditions. Always observe when you do something, whether your father is doing through you or mother is doing through you, dead father, dead mother, dead priest, dead traditions is doing through you. When you get angry, is your anger, is it your anger, or it is the anger the way your father used to get angry or mother used to get angry? You are just imitating them in everything on a day-to-day basis. Observe yourself and you will realize that you throw tantrums the way your mother, the way your father, the way they used to do it. Then there is no point you are calling yourself to be religious, to be spiritual or on path. Always observe when you are doing something, whether your dead father or mother or the dead priest is doing through you or you are doing it. When you get angry, is it your anger or the anger, the traditional anger of your father or mother? You are just imitating. I have seen patterns going on, being repeated on a day-to-day basis. I'll give you an example from my own life. This is for teaching purpose. We come from a middle-class family. We were 4 children. My father's income was not very high, although when he retired, his income, his pension became in thousands, multifold. So he used to get angry because the anger was a part of frustration. So he used to hit us. So that tradition was being religiously being growing into me. It happened. My daughter was about 5 years of age. While we were talking, I and my wife were talking, she came and she wanted the attention or something, I do not recall. My father walked through me and I hit her. Then after that, I said, am I going to continue this old traditions, carry on my dead father in me, or I have to live my own life? That day I decided that this is not going to be repeated again. So my son used to say that daddy will not hit, he will show like this, but the mummy will hit me. So because the moment that action is going to take place, the awareness comes Am I following my dead father, that tradition, or am changing it? And we are very proud of that. We are very traditional people. In certain things it is good, but in certain things it is not. You will act like your father, your wife will act like her mother, and you will create the same mess that they had created in their lives. When you get angry, observe you are there or someone else. So it was in that anger my father was there, because I had seen him. When you love, remember you are there or someone else is acting through you. When you speak something, remember you are speaking, or Buddha or Jesus is speaking through you, or Muhammad is speaking through you. When you make a gesture, remember, is it yours or someone else is present in your hand? This we call the spirits speak through you. It will be difficult, but this is the austerity, this is the sadhana, this is the way of spiritual practice. This is what spiritual effort means, to look into whether it is you or someone else or the spirit is making you do things, and leave all that is false. You may feel a certain dullness for a time being. If now it happened once, because we come from a Sufi family. So Sufis emerged out of Islam. So everyone is putting on a cap while meditating. Or if not, this is what happens. The Sikh religion also had a great influence of Islamic traditions, some Islamic traditions, some Hindu traditions. So they keep their turban on, or if not, they have to keep a piece of handkerchief or cloth. So in Gurdwaras, the Sikh temples, they have set of cloth. Those kind of a napkin type of a thing. So they are kept there. So when someone goes, so before entering the prayer hall, he takes this, puts it on in a particular way that the head remains covered. So purposely, when I was growing and was living with my uncle, I stopped using the cap. No cap. So someone said, you are meditating and you are not using the cap. I said, no, cap is not necessary. He said, but the master uses that. I said, you are seeing the master in prayer, meditation session, that's why you are seeing the cap. I have seen him other times. I have seen him when he is sleeping. When he is sleeping, he takes off the cap. And when he takes a shower, he does not have a cap on. I have seen, but you don't know. You cannot keep, so that time you are not meditative, that time you are not a Muslim, when you are sleeping or you sleep with the cap on, or when you are going to take a shower, you keep your cap on. No, you do not. So it has nothing to do with meditation. It has nothing to do with meditative energy. It is part of tradition. And we follow the traditions and we feel very proud that we are practicing Hindus, practicing Muslims, or this and that. These are all falsities, false things you may have. When you leave these, a certain kind of dullness for some time, dullness for a time being, because all your falsities will drop and the real will take time to come to assert themselves. there will be a period of gap between the two. When the falls is dropping out, when the dried leaves fall from the tree, a new foliage comes, there is a time gap. And during that gap, the tree can feel dull, but it does not, because it neither has subconscious nor unconscious nor conscious. You have the three layers. There will be a period of a gap. Allow that period. Do not feel afraid. Do not feel scared. Do not feel what people will say about you. It does not matter what people say about. I do what feels right for me and comfortable for me. Sooner or later, your false selves will drop, all the masks will drop, the real face will come into being. Only through the real face can you enter the realm of God, the realm of Allah. That is why the sutra says, as a hen mothers her chicks, mother particular doings in reality. As a hen mothers her chicks, mother particular knowings, the chicks are born out of the mother hen. Everything that evolves out of it, mother particular doings, the doings that are coming out of you, not the father is doing through you, not the priest is doing through you, not your Islamic traditions or Christian tradition is doing through you. Particular doings in reality, only then you will grow and evolve in your own way towards Christhood or Buddhahood. Only this much for this morning. Until we meet again, take care and do have a pleasant day. So we will take tomorrow the second sutra. Until then, take care.